Hey guys, got another unboxing video for you today. I know we've been unboxing a lot of stuff but not doing a lot of installs or track videos, and I promise we will get to that very shortly. Today I have a set of Hubstands from CMS Performance. A gentleman that owns a company, company's name is Colton, and he's at Illinois. Look him up, check out his stuff online, it's great. If you've never heard of Hubstands before, they are very similar to jack stands, right? So it's the same as you would jack up your car and slide a jack stand under the pinch weld. The Hubstand is similar in the sense that you would jack up the car, but then remove the tire, and you would bolt these stands to where the tires would be. So why would you want a Hubstand over a traditional jack stand? Especially because they're definitely more expensive. So for me, I align my own cars, and I would like to have something that lets the car sit under its own weight. You know, if you use a jack stand, you're just lifting the car off the ground, right? And realistically, if you're aligning a car, you're never going to use a jack stand. But with a Hubstand, I can bolt the Hubstands in replacement of the tire, and the car can still sit under its own weight. Ideally, the Hubstands will be able to lift the car off the ground, so I can still shimmy under and make camber and toe changes, without having to constantly take my jack out, jack the car up, guess what the change is going to be, drop the car, bounce the car, roll the car. All of that can be done much quicker with the Hubstands. Now, there's a bunch of features that enable me to do that faster. But instead of telling you what those features are, I figured the best way to kind of go about it would be to open these boxes and start putting them together. And as we put together, we can kind of go over some of the features of a Hubstand and why I think they're going to help me do alignments faster on the WRX. So without further ado, let's start to dig in. All right, let's see here. So we got this nice little thank you note from Colton for the purchase, as well as some instructions. This is printed on really nice paper. I wasn't expecting this. He's got all the instructions here to how to put together, how to use it, and it's all nicely printed and put in a notebook. I'm shocked. That's awesome. It's a nice little touch. This clearly is all the nuts and bolts. So we'll get to that. I don't want to. I think I'd rather lay it all out before we kind of open this up. And I expect these to either be the bottom plates or the plates that actually bolt up to the hub. Ooh. Okay. All right. These look nice. All right. So this is the plate that actually bolts up to the hub. Right. So you would have your studs coming out of your hub there. You bolt that on. Looks really good. There's some additional holes here, and I think that's going to allow me to set some of the ride height. So front to back, you can create a differential for the rake on the car. Let's keep going. This looks good. I don't want to geek out on just these plates. Put that down there. What is this? Okay, so I think this is that adapter, or kind of like this bracket that's going to hold that plate that bolts onto the hub to the base plate. So that's one of them. There should probably be, I don't know, 8 of them in here. 1, 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay, so just based on the fact that those are kind of the hub plates, and then I'm assuming that the base plates are in this box. So we'll just go ahead and open it and see what we get here. Everything's nicely wrapped in this kind of like foam or styrofoam. That's great, but not really too worried about it because everything's all metal. As long as it works, I don't care if it doesn't have to look pretty, really, at the end of the day. It's nice, but I don't really care. Okay. Looks like nothing else in there. Just making sure. Yep, I'll clean that up later. Cool. And these are the base plates, right? So obviously the L adapters, look at that machine work. Oh, it looks great. Those little adapters or brackets will bolt right here. My plate will be right here. Then all these little holes under here are for the ball bearings and these little standoffs that'll come down and kind of lock the ball bearings out so the car won't roll. Very cool. All right, so let's put this aside. And then we'll open the last box, and I'm guessing that's got all the ball bearings inside of them. Let's see here. Oh, these, okay, I forgot about these. With the stands also come no ball bearings in there. With the stands also come these like little toe arms. So these will bolt onto the stand and give you a point of reference to make a measurement of your toe. I guess it might not make sense right now, but we'll put it together and I'll kind of go through how these are going to work. All right, so I think the ball bearings are in the pack with all the hardware. I'm gonna off camera sort this all through so that we can put it together a lot faster. No reason for you guys to have to watch all of that. Okay, so all the parts are laid out here. Kind of go through some of these things and help it make a little more sense here. So obviously we spoke about this earlier. This is the plate that bolts the hub. Put that down real quick. And this is the base plate, and then the brackets that hold kind of that hub plate to the base plate. So I'm going to start by threading these in here. And we don't have to get them super tight, we're just gonna get them in. These are nice and countersunk. Probably didn't need to be countersunk, but hey, it's a nice touch, it looks cool. Cool. So finishing that up. Ooh. All right. Then these little bad boys, these are for this right here. So they thread down, and as I mentioned earlier, these Hubstands have ball bearings on them. So these little things, these little black pieces, they act like feet. And you can, if you don't want any ball bearing action, you don't want the jack stands or hub stands to slide around, you thread these down so you take the load off the ball bearings and it can't roll around. So if you need to do things to the car but you don't want it moving around, this is what they're for. I don't know if any other brand of hub stands out there actually have a mechanism to lock out the rolling feature. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. I didn't look hard enough, but it is very nice, and I'm sure this is going to be very useful as we align the cars. So the rest of the holes here, I think, are for the ball bearings, which will slide in here, and this little acorn nut right on top. And you can see kind of like the sliding function there. I think I want these further down because it might make it hard to install. So I'll turn these all the way down here. And I'm sure everything has a torque spec, which I'm not taking the time to torque down right now. I just want to get it together here and see what they look like and give you an idea of what we're working with here. Nice. Okay. Again, these hub stands have two different flavors. One is set for 1,000 pound load rating per hub stand, and the other one is 1,250. I opted for the 1,250 hub stand simply because it's nice to have more, and if I ever need it, it's there, and if it's not, there's like kind of a safety margin there. I think that the material of the hub stand is the same. I'm going out on a limb here and saying that the limiting factor are the balls. So I think, the difference between the two different hub stands would be that the 1,000 pound one would simply have less ball bearings. I'm not sure. That's my guess. Colton, if you're watching this video, you can tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm on the right track here. So I'm going to slide these under here, like so. That's as many as I can hold it in one go. So we'll get that going. Very nice. All right, let's see here. I'm short. I didn't bring enough, so I gotta go grab some more. Let's try to put these two on. One, two, three, four. cool. I think that's it for the base. Yeah, awesome. And then I think there's like there's a recess for an Allen key here. So if you do want to kind of raise it, you would just stick the Allen key in there and drop them down. I'll demonstrate that here in a second. The Allen keys are in the tool chest. Let me finish putting on this plate. Hang on. Cool. So that is it right there. Let's see, there's some other stuff here I want to show you here real quick. Okay. And let's get this. Okay, so this is the hub stand, right? And so you see this plate's kind of wobbly or it's kind of tilting side to side. That's by design, right? That's going to allow you to get the camber. It's going to slip and slide. So anytime you make a camber adjustment, it's going to rotate to that degree. These 5x100 plates can pretty much should work on any 5x100 car, I think. I don't know exactly what the range is. But I think it goes as high as 5x130, and I don't know how low it goes, but when I was looking at them, I was thinking pretty much it's going to do any car I ever own. It does come with these kind of like washers, I guess you would call them, and I think the purpose is so they're countersunk. I think they're there so that you can use your lug nuts that might have a cone. And so that it can just kind of sit down in there and help hold the hub to the hub stand, right? And so there's 20 of these. This part's really cool. So again, I was mentioning this is the tow bar. There are 3 different mounting points for the tow bar. One's up here right across the hub, another one down on the center of the plate, and then one super far down at the bottom of the plate. I plan on using it up here because I have a smart string setup and prefer to take my toe measurements across the center of the hub. Some guys might use it down here or over here because they do toe with tape measures. I prefer not to do toes with tape measures just because it's total toe per axle, and you're not aligning the 2 axles in relation to one another, so I do like using strings. I think the way these work is you screw in these standoffs, right? And then you can just put the tow bar on. And bam. So I might run my string across this bar or really close to this bar. As I'm setting up my strings, I'll take a ruler and measure dead center, how far this is off so that my string is parallel. And then obviously when I make my toe measurements, I might measure them all the way out here or somewhere in between. Ideally, you want to make those measurements in the same spot every time. So for me, just because it's easy, I'm going to take them right at the end, right? And that is a Hubstand. I'm super stoked on getting these. This is the main reason why I held off on the coilover install. I haven't used these Hubstands yet, or in the past, so I want to get the coilovers on in the car and then allocate an entire day to using the Hubstands to align the car and set corner weights. Super stoked. There's some other tools over here off in the corner. I've got some corner scales as well as some pad leveling kind of pads for the corner scales, which we'll be using. And then I also have a super long leveler, so we can level the pads in relation to one another. But without going too far into it, we'll cover that in another video. Just wanted to share what this Hubstand would look like fully assembled. And I am going to go ahead and take the rest of this time to put them all together and torque everything down according to spec. Oh, there is one thing missing from these Hubstands. There is a safety label that Colton will be sending me, simply to remind the load rating, the fact that you should, be cautious that this is a pinch point, and some other things here. So he's got that on his way, and we're going to put these on there just in case someone borrows the Hubstands. We don't want anyone losing fingers or injuring themselves. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe, because there's a lot more to come with the WRX and how we're going to set up the suspension and dial it in over the course of the year. Thanks much. Bye.